Hello everyone, I'm Skylar and I'm going to review Carve. So before I get started, I'm just going to say that this is my favorite book of all time. I think I have not read a book that has lived up to these standards right here, and I'm really excited for Fates Divide. I have not read it yet. I'm so bummed, but I'm hoping that my library is gonna get it soon. I really want to buy the book, but I don't know. I'm just gonna wait. I think I'm just gonna get the whole series once the next book is out. But anyways, so this book, it takes place in this alternate galaxy. And there's this thing called the current that it's the whole galaxy's life force. And everyone has a gift from the current, and it takes place on the planet Thuva. On this planet, there are the Thuvazites and the Shotet. And the Thuvazites are a very peaceful people. They are nothing like the Shotet. The Shotet are warlike people. It starts off with Akos. And Akos is a Thuvazite, and he gets kidnapped by the Shotet people. And so he goes to Shotet, where he meets Syra. He is the only one that she doesn't inflict pain on. If you haven't read the book, go read it, come back, and we'll talk. So, bye. So now we'll get into the spoiler sections. What I really like about Akos and Syra's relationship is it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, but like even better, because, you know, Syra doesn't she doesn't need Akos, and Akos knows that. I love how Akos kind of knew the moment he met her that she didn't want any help from him, and she did not want to be reliant on him, so he makes her the pain reliever, and it works. And as the relationship kind of develops, they develop this symbiotic relationship that I was talking about. He teaches her how to make these pain relievers and sleeping potions, and in return she teaches him how to fight. I like how over time they develop that trust, and then Akos ruins it. Was anybody just like that when Akos betrays Syra? Like, why? I mean, I know Aija kind of clouds his judgment. I mean, we definitely saw that in this part, but seriously, I mean, how many lessons did he have with Syra about fighting, and he thinks he knows everything, you know? And then he didn't even think about like cameras or anything when he decided to steal all the codes from Syra. And it just goes to show how much he invaded her trust, because I mean, she saw when she was putting in the codes when they were going to the festival, the Sodron festival, that he was looking, and she let him, you know, because like she thought he was smarter than that. But like I said, Aija definitely clouds his judgment, and he just does stupid things. Afterward, Syra doesn't even really talk to him. You know, they stop doing their whole symbiotic relationship. It's just kind of like, you're there when I need you. But then, over time, they get it back, they get that relationship back, and then they fall in love, and it's just like, yeah. I think probably why I love them so much, is because of the way they started. They like hated each other first, and then they developed that symbiotic relationship, and then it kind of crumbled, and then they started to realize that they have some things in common, you know, and like they both lost a parent. Well, Syra lost 2 parents, but then he's not even he's alive. Okay, my thoughts just kind of scrambled there. I mean, I was talking about one thing and then I moved on to the end of the book. But that's another thing what I'm thinking about is like, so Syra isn't a Novak according to Rizik? It makes me wonder, is like, okay, so she isn't a child of the Novak. What about her fate? So her fate is to cross the divide. And it did, you know, obviously the fates don't name names. They say the second child of Novak will cross the divide. And the divide is like from Shotet to Thuva. But like, is that actually her? But then, I mean, she will eventually cross the divide anyways, because it's, you know, it's Akos' home, so obviously she'll go there sometime. But that's another thing that's something I'm wondering. Is like, is that actually her fate? Or is there another Novak child who's, I don't know. That might be too much of a stretch as far as theories go, but I'm just kind of wondering that. I have a bunch of theories, but we'll get to those later. I love how when they first kissed, Akos became all self-conscious of what he was doing. Like, he blushed every time he said something or Syra said something, and then he'd kind of he'd hold her hand. He's like, am I squeezing too tight or too much or too little? You know, and he's just all self-conscious, and it's like, oh, Akos, you are so cute, you know? And it just kind of brought you back to that little skinny 14-year-old boy who lived in Thuva, like right before he was taken into Shotet. So while this is happening, Jorik comes up to Akos, and he kind of makes him an offer. And he says, if you kill my father, then I will get you out of here. And Akos is like, why are you asking me? You know, and he's like, well, you're the only one who can do it. And then he also gives him this strategy, and that's to like knock him out. I think he knocked him out like 3 times, and then later he went up to him and he revealed that he was the one who was putting in like sleeping tonics and stuff. So then Suzao got all pissed, and obviously he challenged him to an arena fight. It's actually pretty awesome because Jorik chose Akos because he knew that Suzao thinks of Akos still as a child, because he's the one who kidnapped Akos when he was 14 years old and a skinny little kid, and he basically trained him. He didn't train him very well, like I said, but he doesn't know that he's been working with Syra, and he doesn't know how good he's gotten. So in the arena, you know, he kind of like, he doesn't go all out with his fighting, and so he's caught by surprise when Akos is like badass, you know, and he's using all these different fighting techniques that Syra showed him. Yeah, so he ends up winning because he catches him off guard and stuff. I love how the fight was in Saira's point of view. I loved that because I feel like, I don't know, because she got the arena perspective and then she was talking to Voss. I just love their interaction. I just have to read it from the book, so. Suzao and Akos are like getting into fight, and Voss is in the little thing where like the people of the highest rank are. And he's like, you seem nervous, need a hand to hold? And she's like, I'm only nervous for your man. Keep your hand to yourself, I'm sure you'll need it later. He's like, I guess you don't need me anymore now that you found someone else who can touch you. What's that supposed to mean? You know exactly what I mean. Better keep your eyes on your little thievesy pet. He's about to die. Sure. Because I know what happens. And Saira's just like, I trained that boy to like be badass like me. You know, like you ain't seen nothing yet. Right after that, Akos is broken and Saira, she can't take it anymore. You know, she realizes she's got to get him out. So she goes over to Tekka and she says, I can get you into Rizik's quarters in order to assassinate him on one condition. I need you to get someone out who doesn't necessarily want to get out, you know, because she knows Akos won't leave without Aija. So the revolt happened and she punches in all the codes and stuff, and then she gets to the blood thing. It's like where only Novak blood can open the door, and it doesn't open. Then obviously she gets caught, so does Akos, and they starve Akos, they dehydrate him, so he can't use his gift. And as a form of torture for Saira, Voss forces Saira to touch Akos. And so she's hurting Akos, but instead of putting it all in and stuff for Akos, she holds it all in. Instead of putting it all into Akos, she holds it all in. You know, she's just kind of like saying, screw you, Rizik, you know? I can live with this pain. Like, I've been living with it for forever because of you. So, thanks a lot for the protective measure, because now I can protect both myself and Akos. And, you know, you can do whatever you want with me. I'm not going to let you hurt Akos. I'm not going to let you make me hurt Akos. Then Akos, of course, goes to, where did they go? They went to like Ogra? Was it Ogra that they dropped him off in? Or was it actually Thuba? I don't know. He reunites with his sister and Ori, and then he meets the Chancellor, Ori's twin sister, Issei. He develops this plan after he's gained Issei's trust. They're gonna rescue Aija and Saira, and so they go into Shotet. He takes Ori and Issei, and does he take Cece? Yeah, he does take Cece into Shotet, and they go to Jorik's house. And Jorik shows them this video, and because Akos wants to know how Saira is. Saira is a traitor to her people, and she assassinated Illyria Novak. The punishment for that is removing her status. Now anybody can challenge her because she's lost her status. And the thing that goes with this punishment is, and it's to signify this shame that they have with the removal of their status is a patch of skin. They're just supposed to take off some skin. Rizik asks Syra, where do you want it to be? And Syra says, from the jaw to the ear. And so Voss starts cutting, and Rizik just says, keep going. And so they cut like the whole, Voss cuts the whole half of her face off and a little hair, so like she has half of her hair off. She's living with half of her face off, only gauze to like bandage it, but so that doesn't stop the bleeding. Like she's constantly bleeding, you know. Obviously she's dizzy because, like, I mean, it's in her head. She's losing blood loss in her head, and I mean anywhere it would still give you dizzy, but since it's in your head or in her head, it's like worse. Rizik was just going to have her fight all these fights, as many fights as she was challenged to, before she just collapsed and just died because she's so weak. But I think it was like after her like third fight or something, she has her fight Voss. And I mean, she knows, like, there's no way she's gonna win this fight. But like, it's all good, because just as she was about to like lose, Akko swoops her up, brings her back into the ship, and then obviously she meets Issei, and she gets all upset because Akko is like carrying her in front of people that she would rather be standing up for so that she can gain respect, because that's just how she is. She's a Novak, she's a Shotet, and Akko's is like, well, you know, you can't stand up. With the help of CZ, he puts on silver skin. So then Akko's mom comes into the picture. And let me just say, I didn't like her before. I don't like her now. I don't think I'll ever like her. I mean, at first, I kind of gave her the benefit of the doubt because she's an oracle, and it's kind of hard to perform your duties as a mother and an oracle, especially when it comes to that. Whether you choose fate, which is what an oracle should choose, or your kids. Obviously, she saw it coming. She's an oracle. She knew the Shotet were going to come to their house and kill her husband and take both of her sons and scar her daughter for life. At first, I kind of said, okay, I mean, this was bound to happen anyways. Like, she had to do this. But then she comes in and she starts telling them about, like, there are so many possible ways that this can go. And she's seeing all these visions, and like, Akko's knows that she has a particular vision in mind because he knows his mother. They're trying to decide what to do. And she pulls out this button. It's this yellow button, and Akko instantly recognizes it as his father's. He knows exactly what it means. It means that Sifa wants her revenge on Voss. She wants to avenge her husband's death. And the way to do that is to get Akko to do it. And so Akko is like, Mom, no, put that away, okay? We're not going to decide one of these futures just so you can have your way. So she puts it away. Sifa tells them that Ori is going to be in this particular song, but she's not. Voss is there. She told them that Ori would be there, and so they would go down there to rescue her. But Voss ended up being there. She knew Voss would be there. So she literally forced her child to kill a man. I mean, like, it was going to happen sooner or later, but Akos wants to kill Voss on his own terms. He doesn't want to be forced to kill someone. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He doesn't. And in this particular moment, he knows that the only way to get to Ori is to kill Voss. And he needs to kill Voss. He's the only one who can kill Voss because he can manipulate the current in Voss. This is your son we're talking about, okay? And you lie to him and tell him that his childhood friend, his brother's potential wife, like, they could have... I shipped Aija and Ori so hard. She made Akos go into there under the assumption that his childhood friend would be there and he'd be able to rescue his childhood friend from being executed. She's not even there. He's forced to avenge his father's death. He doesn't want to avenge his father's death yet. You know, he's not ready. He could have done it some other time. But no, she has to literally kill Ori in order to get her revenge. Ori could have been alive. She could be alive if it had not been for Sifa's selfishness, and not to mention her other son. I mean, if Aija ever gets his memories back and he's ever himself again, he's going to have to live with the fact that he killed his crush, basically his girlfriend. I mean, that's not fair for anybody. It's not fair for Ori. It's not fair for Issei. Issei is gonna be pissed. I think Issei is already pissed at Akos because he doesn't want to kill Aija, obviously, because it's his brother, you know. And which I say to the fact, if it had been your twin sister, you know, would you have wanted to kill her? I don't even have any words anymore. I'm just so pissed at Akos' mom. What a mother. Like, I just want to say, good job. Happy Mother's Day. You deserve it. For both sons. And even Cizi, her daughter. Like, Cizi and Ori probably leaned on each other because they both lost Akos and Aija, and she just took Ori away from all of her kids just for some silly ploy of revenge. And I mean, that didn't have to happen. I get some bad vibes from her. I think because of that, because of how she picked that future, I think she did kind of the same thing before Akos was even born, because, I mean, what are the chances of Akos being Shotet? Like, Akos is Shotet. I mean, unless, because I don't know how the Shotet children, reclaiming Shotet children works. I think that before Akos was even born, Sifa already knew his fate. I don't know if that's possible to know the fate before they're even born, but I think she just had a vision that the child needed to be Shotet in order to fulfill their fate. I think she knew she was going to have a son. Through this vision, I think the vision kind of told her, like, it would be best if the child was Shotet, because that was the reason why they took Akos. Like, they weren't going to take Akos until he started understanding Shotet, and then he spoke it too. And then they were like, oh yeah, your fate is to die in the service of the Novak, so it works out. So I think Sifa, because of this, I think she went out and had relations or sex with a Shotet with the purpose of getting pregnant and having a Shotet baby in order to fulfill this future. I mean, like, it would not surprise me unless, like, this, I mean, it has to be true unless the reclaiming children in Shotet, they kind of pop out sometimes. They just, like, every decade or something, there's some kid who's Shotet, like their parents are both Buvasite, but they're Shotet. I don't know if that's a thing, but it could be because of the Shotet are like a mixed race. And so, because Syra and Rizik, well, Syra said she and Rizik don't look alike, but and she was like, that's not uncommon with Shotet because they're a mixed race. So, like, one child could have, like, light bronze skin and then another could have, like, dark skin. But that's the thing with, Syra doesn't have the same father as Rizik, so I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like, I guess Akos and Syra might have another thing in common where both of their moms cheated. I guess Lasmit Novak is still alive. Maybe he isn't. He probably is, because if Rizik dies, then you need another villain. But then that would probably be Aija. If Rizik is dead, and they don't have Aija's memories, obviously, then he's gone. So I'm really, really excited for Fates Divide. I also, I have a big fear with Fates Divide, because it said in the summary, I read the summary, and it said, like, they're gonna, like, fulfill their fates. But Akko's fate is to freaking die. One thing I do have a theory with that with Akko's is, it would kind of make sense for him to die in the series, because of all their fates. Like, Aija's fate is to see the future of the galaxy. It's definitely gonna happen. Ori's was to raise her sister to power as Chancellor. She did that. Rizik's is to fall to the family benefit. That's definitely going to happen. What is CZ's again? I can't remember. Did we even see it? I don't think we know CZ's fate. Do we? I don't know. Syra's is to cross the divide. Definitely going to happen. She's definitely going to go into Thuva. But then there's Akko's. His is to die in service of the Novaks. They could say, oh, he's definitely going to die in service of the Novaks because he loves Syra so much, and, you know, and he's going to, like, spend the rest of his life with her. But I don't think it's, you know, it's not a chicklet, so I don't think that's going to happen. It wouldn't really make sense for that to happen. So I'm kind of scared. I feel like Akko's is kind of gonna, I think he's gonna, like, jump in front of a knife for Syra. I don't really have a lot of doubt that Veronica Roth will do this because she does have a history of killing off her main characters. I'm really scared. I don't want that to happen, but it's kind of mandatory, probably. It's going to happen sooner or later, whether she makes a novella about it or something. I mean, I wouldn't hold Veronica Roth to it. It's just, she has such power on my emotions is too much. I don't know, because it's supposed to be a trilogy, isn't it? But like, in the series it says they're gonna fulfill their fates, but Akko's is to die. This is too much for my brain to handle right now. It's not happening. Okay. I'm really excited to read Face Divide. I can't wait to read it. I might actually just buy it because why not? And since I'm starting a YouTube channel anyways, I will definitely post a review about the Face Divide as soon as I read it. And I'm going to try to read it like as fast as possible. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, comment your thoughts on this book, and make sure you subscribe and go check out my controversy video on this book. In case you haven't seen it, it's where I try to explain the controversy around this book because I love it so much and I want it to get the credit it deserves and the love, and just please show this book all the love in the world because it would mean so much to me and to Veronica Roth, and okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. Have a good day. Bye!